Hello again. I missed a week. And I decided not to do a follow-up because I only ended up realizing close to the end of the week. So I'll be covering the end of September as well as start of October. I'll cover why exactly I'm talking the way I am later. Um, okay. Um, as far as all my goals go for September, I actually completed all of them. Pretty well. Nothing major changed really. Pretty normal. Um, Going into October, the only actual difference that I have in terms of the goals is I just put the watch one movie every day thing down just as a reminder to do it. Um, so far, I've liked all the movies I've watched, which is only three, but it's still enough to warrant saying that. Um, I've also decided to follow the 3 month format of reducing days for porn addiction. Next month, I'm going to be reducing a day from the week, so that's going to be a bit of a leap. Um, and I'd also like to stop having brushing my teeth as a goal in my book after this month. Again, if I fall off the bandwagon, I can very easily just put it back in here, and it won't be that much of an issue. But oops, yeah, just I still have eat twice a day. I've changed the formatting of how I do it, but that's not really all that important. Um, On to the reason why I sound like I'm out of breath. And it's because I feel like complete shit. It started last week. It's actually the main reason why I didn't make a video last week. I've become incredibly stressed. Um, it's a mixture of college and, in general, my own feelings of inadequacy and my inability to adapt quickly, I guess. Not really. That's probably not a portion of it, but I, I, a lot of the stress is definitely because of college, but it's not because of the classes themselves. It's more so because of what it's taking up and how much I'm not, well, doing anymore. Um, I feel like I'm on the verge of a mental break, and that's not that's not good. It feels like I need to take a vacation, and as a matter of fact, the being on the verge of a mental break is making me literally incapable of doing work. Sure, it's entirely something stopped by my head, and I can physically do it, but it's college, it's writing papers and doing assignments. Unless it's easy stuff, I need to legitimately think. And, uh, yeah, that's just not happening. It's pretty clear, it's been apparent, and it's become even more apparent that I need to figure out a way to regulate myself, to structure myself. Uh, I mentioned how I would typically use my break times to eat lunch and do what I need to, take care of myself, do maybe a couple chores that I need to, and then just sit outside, enjoy the outside for a bit. I stopped doing that for the entirety of this week. This is the first day of the entire week that I've actually done that, and it started last week. I started not going out last week, and that's pretty bad because going outside and just sitting there has been helping. I'm falling into exactly what stopped me from doing a lot of the work that I needed to in high school. And I don't know what to do. Obviously, there's something there. I'm incredibly stressed, and as I'm slowly chipping away at things that are meant to de-stress me, I don't replace them. I usually bite my hands, or bite my fingernails. When I was relatively unstressed, I didn't find too much problem just not even wearing the gloves or chewing gum in order to just be fine. I didn't chew my fingers, which leads me to believe that there is a link of stress in me wanting to bite my nails. But as of recently, I've had to put the gloves on to stop myself. And that should be a sign. Maybe I just need to learn to fill up the time that I do have doing things that I enjoy instead of fucking dopamine sucking, like chemical activating things that really do nothing for me in the long run. Essentially, bring about mental chaos. Which in that case, it might be time to completely restrict my access to YouTube in particular, because that is the thing that I'm using to. That's the primary mechanism. I don't really do anything else. Any other time, I'm usually just playing video games, which is something I actually enjoy. I'm actually having fun when I do that. Whereas with that, sure, I'll watch some good videos. As a matter of fact, I'll even go out of my way to search up videos, which I can't applaud myself more for. I am changing the way I use YouTube, and it's becoming less of a burden to me. But it's pretty clear that the way I use it now is not healthy. The subscriptions only. That should be. I think that's how I'm gonna have to do it. Only my subscription tab. If I find a video that maybe I'd like to watch on the immediate front page that loads in, I'll click on it and watch later. But I have to go to the subscriptions page. And I know how flimsy this is. I really do. I've seen it before. If I don't cut off access, there's no way in hell I'm going to ease into this. But I'm looking for change, and I need to make time in the middle of my day to sit there with my thoughts. And right now, I'm not doing that. Stress continues to build as I don't think and do things that just chemically activate. I put myself into mental turmoil. I need the time to let my mind wander, realize what it wants to do, and then do it. I need to let myself be bored, and I continuously fight against that. And right now, YouTube is the number one thing. There are some things I want to watch on YouTube. There are some YouTubers who are posting series right now, since it's fucking October, that I really want to watch, and I don't want to restrict that. As a matter of fact, I would love to continue that. But I need to heavily reduce my usage of YouTube, even if it's just on the TV. Subscriptions only. I'm not even doing recommended videos. It's whatever's on my subscription tab. And if I've watched everything I want to watch, I turn the fucking TV off and sit there. I do nothing. And I let my mind wander. I let my mind go to what it wants to do. I do that to alleviate stress, then I do what is required of me. The reason why I'm particularly stressed about this, unlike I was before, is because this time it actually has stopped me from doing assignments on time. And I'm not the type of person to submit late work, so I know I'm not going to do them. I am currently not doing an assignment. It's going to be late, and I'm not going to turn it in. I can't make a habit of that. If I don't make a change now, this will continue happening. And I'm going to crash and burn. All efforts may as well have been in vain, and I may as well have just stayed who I was before, because at the very least, then it wouldn't have been building up to a grandiose failure. I forget how much my own mind, biologically speaking, wants to sabotage itself. Or at least sabotage the conscious mind, as I'm going to call it here. The one where I speak to myself through these videos, rant and rave as I'm walking around, or just choose to do something. That's the conscious mind. Whenever I feel like something else is taking over and my body's moving on its own, that's that's my biology acting on its own, acting on what it believes are its base desires that it absolutely needs, even though it's nothing more than instinct. It's just a want. That is a problem, and I need to fix it. Or at the very least, I need to learn how to work with it, or around it, one of the two. I hope not to miss one of these again, because it really does feel like missing the video last week sent me into a fucking spiral of complete of turmoil this entire week. I've been stressing. I've been fucking horrified the entire week. I hate it here. I don't like this mindset. It's not that it makes me uncomfortable. I've been here before. I may as well be walking it back into my childhood home. But the reason I don't like it is because I don't like the childhood home. There's a lot of trauma here that I would not like to revisit. It doesn't make me uncomfortable. I am comfortable here. There are just memories that stress me the hell out. I'm le- I'm basically laying in my own bed, unable to do anything. Why would I want to be here? So I'm going to work with a way to not be here. And by God, I know I've done this before. And I know I've failed before. Because it's a constant battle, right? But the one thing I've learned is that, especially when it comes to philosophy, which is what I'm trying to do right now, it is a lesson that is constantly learned and reapplied. It's not a one and done. There is a certain point in your life where you'll have learned it enough and it will become a part of you. But when you're starting out especially, you are prone to failure. And when you fail, you need to recognize it, take accountability, and take steps for that failure to reduce the chance of that failure ever happening again. That's what I'm trying to do here. I feel like I'm going mad. And this time, it's not because of the outside world. If anything, I've adapted to the chaos of the outside world. I see the news and, I mean, sure, I'll display my disdain or dissatisfaction, but it doesn't deeply affect me as it used to. The more I was exposed, the more I learned, and the more I'm capable of tolerating. But particularly, oh, and by tolerate, I don't mean I tolerate the events around me. I just tolerate the fact that I, at the end of the day, really can't do anything, even though I wish I could. I will show my dissatisfaction. I will denounce them, because it is an exercise in my own morality and ideas. It is how I know myself, and I will continue to do it, even if it means repeating myself. But within the realm of my own mind, no. I still haven't gotten past that part. And realistically speaking, I may never get past that part. Hopefully, hopefully. No. No hopefully this time. No matter how many times I fail, I will 100% will allow myself the room, time, and mental fortitude to succeed in my endeavors. And this is just the first step. Anywho, oh, there is one other thing I need to mention. I don't believe I made a fear video last month. Which means I failed my New Year's resolution. That is my fault. I fucked up, and I just couldn't keep up the pace. We can't have all winners, right? I got my first one as a win, my second one, it's a fail. That's fine. Maybe I'll come up with something a little more doable this year. Something that I actually plan out this time instead of, you know, fucking hopping right into it with nothing. Other than that, I will see myself next time. Goodbye.